George Berkeley's radical empiricism is one of those weird but fun philosophical ideas that for many is hard to accept but harder to refute. Here's a summary. 1. If we consider the world's reality, apart from its mere appearance, no experiential character remains. The world in itself can't be bright or dim, colorful or desaturated, loud or quiet, textured or smooth, and so on, since those properties are experiential. 2. What then remains in our concept of the world is only a role, to regulate which experiences occur and co-occur. In short, a stable logic system-like order of experiences. 3. Experiences as such do not impose such order, and one's own will explains only a small private portion of it, imagination, dream, and hallucination. 4. The only sort of source we know that can actively regulate experience is will. And 5. Epistemic parsimony therefore demands that the public law-like order independent of our will is owed to a will greater than ours, one assumed singular by the same parsimony, and to explain the unified coherence of experience. Step 1 gives the epistemic motivation. Once all sensible features are set aside as belonging to appearance, nothing sensible is left to ascribe to the world as such. What conceptually survives is only the task of fixing which experiences would obtain. Hence step 4. Steps 4 through 5 use only familiar materials. Where order is not from my will and cannot come from mere experiences, a greater will is posited as the sufficient regulator without positing idle unknown hypotheses. But parsimony isn't the only drive here. Berkeley also hammered home that no one, including materialists like Locke, had a coherent theory for how inert matter or physical processes generally could cause experiences. Matter is supposed to be passive and unthinking, so how does it produce perceptions in a mind? He saw this as a gaping hole in the materialist story, one that avoids unnecessary entities while solving the causation puzzle. And get this, that issue hasn't gone away. It echoes in today's mind-body problem, where philosophers like David Chalmers point out the hard problem of consciousness, explaining how physical brain states give rise to subjective experiences. And by the way, I also wrote on this in my last video, The Empirical Incommensurability of Psychology and Neurology. You could check that out if you like that sort of thing. But for now, the point is that Berkeley's move to a greater will sidesteps that mess entirely by making everything experiential from the get-go. In this way, Berkeley pushes an instrumental take on science. Physics as such describes and organizes experience, not a principally unknowable, unobservable substrate. This means that modern physics, from quantum fields to relativity, isn't dismissed. It's just seen as mathematical tools for predicting the regular patterns in our perceptions, not as peeking behind the curtain at some hidden stuff. Put that way, Berkeley starts to sound a lot less weird, huh? It's the non-Berkeley view that looks odd. What exactly is this real stuff whose principal character is imperceivable? If that's real, whatever justified belief in it? Indeed, what could justify belief in it? It's principally imperceivable. So maybe the goofy idea isn't idealism, it's insisting on a metaphysical extra no one can experience even in principle. Now, if you're thinking, wait a sec, Berkeley's radical empiricism concludes with a world-creating will. That sounds like God, but without the full set of divine attributes. No aseity, no necessary existence. What is this? Well, Berkeley was an Anglican bishop, and he does affirm those traditional theological attributes elsewhere, but that wasn't the point of the argument we just covered. He wasn't trying to build a theological framework at all. He was simply asking, what follows if we commit to a strict empiricism and demand epistemic parsimony? And surprisingly, if you follow that path to the end, what you're left with isn't mereological atoms, quanta, fields, or any primitive physical facts inferred from experience. What's left is whatever could regulate experience itself. What accounts for that regularity? What accounts for that consistency? I think that's kind of fun. If you found that fun or interesting, you can read Berkeley's ideas in full in a treatise concerning the principles of human knowledge, or if you prefer something more accessible, try 3 dialogues between Hylas and Philinus, which paraphrases the treatise in a conversational format. Both are available as audiobooks on Audible. And by the way, I would really recommend the Ukemi audiobooks version of 3 dialogues because it's really well done. They've got 2 different voice actors and they're really, I don't know, they're selling it. It really sounds like a organic conversation, you know? But yeah, so this is typically where a YouTuber would tell you to use his affiliate link, but I don't have one, so do whatever.
Playing this back, I realized that I called him Berkeley the whole time. His name is Barkley, like Charles Barkley, but it's spelled Berkeley, like Berkeley, California. I even made a mental note to not call him that before I started recording this, but I messed it up out of habit anyway. I should have just called him George.
By the way, I'm working on a series of videos that'll explore some original ideas, not just recaps of other people's arguments like this one, but that'll take a little bit longer before it's ready, so in the meantime, you can probably expect a few more low-effort videos like this. Okay, bye.